So here is the generator for the emergency generator. It's here in this box container here. Here you see the generator and this behind this container here, protective container. Instructions. This is the electrical cord here that connects the generator to the power supply to the house, and this is a propane gas cylinder that you can use to start the generator if you can't get it to start with gasoline. This is the manual for the generator, and there are instructions here on how to start it. With both gasoline and propane as an energy source. Check the oil before you start. Here's the oil switch here, outlet here, and you can just look at this dipstick to see where the oil is. This is about halfway up, so I think we're in good shape here. If you need to add oil, there's oil in the bike shed, and you can use 1040 or 1030. Now the fuel gauge here indicates that there's no gasoline in the generator at the moment, so we're going to have to fill the generator with some gasoline. Here is the fuel for the generator. There are 15 gallons here. It's premium fuel with preservative, so it'll be good for a whole year. You take off the cap here, get your gasoline tank open, and then pour gasoline into the generator tank. I filled it with 5 gallons of premium blend gasoline with preservative, and so it's pretty full. Probably can take another 2 more gallons maybe. So for gasoline, you want to make sure that this switch is turned to gasoline, and then you want to go around here and turn this on, this switch here, for gasoline. There, it's on now. And when you turn this to run, the battery indicator light should come on. And keep this main breaker switch off to get when you start it. Now you can either start it by pressing this manual button here, or you can use the remote here. And here's the generator trying to start with gasoline, and it's not starting, as you can see. I'm going to try it once more, see if we can get it to go. Well, it's not starting, so I'm going to turn off the stop stop the starting process. I'm going to hook it up to the gasoline, to the propane gas tank, because in the past we found that that works much better. So here's a propane tank, and what I'm going to do is connect it to this outlet here. Turn the switch to propane, and then turn this off so that the gasoline isn't going into the engine. Connected the propane to the generator. Now I'm going to turn the propane tank on. I've only hand tightened these two connections, but if you want to, you can tighten them with a wrench, but I don't think it's necessary. Now, turn the generator off. You can simply turn it like that. So now I've got it warmed up, what I'm going to do is switch it to a gasoline. It's a little more efficient. And again, I'm just going to reverse what I've done, basically turn this tap off here initially, like this. Switch this to gasoline. Turn this on, and hopefully it will start now. We've warmed it up a little bit with the So here is the connector from the generator to the house. It only fits in one way. There are grooves that guide the connection, and you can see here it's connected to the generator, and you can move the generator a little further away if you want to, so that you don't get fumes into the house and cuts down on noise. So here is the connector for the generator on the end of this line, and it only goes into one outlet here. So this is the 120, 140 volt AC, 50 amp. And here is it connected. It's a little tight because the cable is really rigid, but it should go in without you having to do much more wiggling or removal of the tire or anything like that. Once you've got the generator working, you want to turn it off, connect it with the electrical cable as I showed you to the house, and then go inside the utility room and open the electrical panel. And you can see the instructions here. They're quite clear as to what you do. First of all, you turn all the circuit breakers off, and you start the generator per the manufacturer's instructions, and then you slide the interlock and turn generator on. So here we are, this is the interlocked here. You turn this off, power to the main house. This allows you to move that across like this, and then you can turn this mechanical interlock breaker on. All right, so that is now connecting the generator to the power in the house. With the generator running and power connected through here to the house, you can turn this main breaker on, and this will then connect the generator to the house, and power will run from the generator to the house. Once the generator breaker is turned on and power is running to the house, what you can do is start turning these breakers on depending on what you want. And so you can have, for example, here are the dining room lights and utilities, here are the bathroom solarium lights. These are all labeled. I wouldn't turn on the hot tub, it takes a lot of power. But you can, we found that you can basically run the microwave as long as you only have 1 or 2 lights on. And you can heat the water for the bathroom as long as you only have 1 or 2 lights on. You have to be careful not to overload the generator. And you can hear the generator working hard if you load it too much. And if you load it, keep on loading with more and more breakers, turning more and more of these breakers on, eventually the generator will stop running. And then you have to go back and turn some of these off, and then start the generator and adjust the power coming into the house. The generator won't be able to provide power for all of these circuits, but as I mentioned, it can do the water heater and 1 or few lights, or the microwave and 1 or few lights, but not the microwave and water heater together. So once the power comes on, what you can do is turn off the generator and disconnect it, and then you just reverse this whole process here. So in other words, you switch this across, you turn this off, you turn this interconnected off, switch this on. So that switches all the power to the house, and then you can switch all these breakers on again, and that'll supply power to the house. And you're all set. You can start packing up and putting all the generator and items away.